From the Yonkers Statesman, November 20th, 1916. Headline: Peary pleads for airships. The Admiral points out the need for a great aerial navy, urges American polar expedition. The world above the world, that eternity in which there is neither beginning nor end, sacred to the birds and stars, was first conquered to the will of man by an American. But in spite of the proverbial enterprise of the Yankee, the medium of his conquest, the airplane, has not been put to practical use here. Since 1911, said Rear Admiral Robert E. Peary in an address Saturday night at the Nappakammet Club, the United States has seemed blinded to the possibilities of this new science of the air, oblivious to the progress of foreign nations in improving upon America's crude invention and its use for war purposes. We do not yield respect to a man, said the Admiral, unless he possesses some elements of force. This must of necessity apply also to the nation. There is no other way today that this nation can command this respect than through its conquest of the air. The time is coming in the near future when America's aerial preparedness will be of more importance than the strength of our Army and Navy combined. The United States Army in 1909 was the first to tread in this new field of science, the first to regard an airplane as an addition to its forces. The United States Navy was the first possessor of a hydro-airplane. Yet today, this invention of our own conception is not merely deficient among us, it is absolutely lacking. Little Bulgaria, with an area but little greater than Maine and a population less than that of Massachusetts, has already 300 airplanes. There are more men in the Aero Corps of France than in our entire army. Great Britain has 40,000 aeroplanes. Every country in Europe is working night and day to increase its aero equipment. As soon as we wake up to the fact that the efficient aerial equipment is necessary to the preservation of our prosperity, the greater will be the profit from this realization. The airplane has changed the entire phase of modern warfare. Headline: Serbians capture town of Monastir. The capture of Monastir by General Saral's army in Macedonia is looked upon by Entente military writers as of notable political importance, but opinion appears divided as to whether it will be followed by developments of sweeping military importance. Events for the next day or two are expected to allow whether the capture of the Macedonian capital will require a period of rest before starting a new advance, or whether pursuit of the retreating Bulgarians is to be pressed despite adverse weather conditions. In some quarters, an Entente advance along the road to Prilep is forecasted, to be followed by a thrust up the Vardar Valley with the object of outflanking the Bulgarians and opening up the frontier passes northwest of Salonika. Dispatches indicate the Germans and Bulgarians who evacuated Monastir to be in full retreat, and Paris reports them as being pursued relentlessly. A press dispatch depicted Monastir as virtually destroyed by fire and explosions and deserted by the population. British assaults on the Somme front failed with heavy losses, and the British were driven from the western part of Grand Cour. In exchange, Telegraph Company dispatch from Athens says the Germans, Austro-Hungarian, Bulgarian, and Turkish ministers to Greece have been informed by the commander of the Allied fleet that they must leave Greece by Wednesday. And that's the news from Yonkers 100 years ago today.